Alright guys, so you can check in Stormtopia.com, the Stormtopia.com Facebook page from a daily weather update right now. Of course, looking towards an event, which is really going to be a non-event for a large portion of the Northeast. Now here's my snowfall accumulation map, which I was the first to put one out, and I put it out yesterday. And I believe it's just going to be a couple showers, rain, and snow mixed in for most of the Northeast. You'll have to head into interior southern New England, through the Poconos, all the way back into northern Pennsylvania, and points northward to see at least 1 to 3 inches, where it will be primarily snow, and then 3 to 6 inches from the North Country back on through a lot of Maine. And the concern is that we're going to get some isolated areas at the summits of Maine, or excuse me, at the summits of the whites and the greens, and with some lake effect snow bands off Ontario that we see in excess of 6 to as much as 12 inches, especially with those lake effect bands. In terms of the latest data we're getting in, the model which backs the run that backs me up the most in my forecast is the 3Z Seraph. Here it is, 3Z Seraph guidance run, and you can see what we're talking about here. That purple shading is maybe the rain and snow showers, so you can see it's basically backing me up in what I've said. The light blues are where you're talking about a tenth of an inch of QPF, 10 to 1 ratio. That's an inch of snow, likely higher amounts for some, and that's basically again from the Poconos into interior southern New England. Then as you progress into those darker blue shades, that's a half an inch for the next shade, which is a quarter inch of QPF, and then your max up in here is where there's half an inch. That's again your 3 to 6 inch area. A lot of spots getting 3 to 6 inches, and then of course your 6 to 12 inches off of Lake Ontario. Also 3 to 6 inches off of Lake Erie. The NAM, a lot of folks looking at the NAM, and I don't think it's a model that should be really used too much because it's really not being consistent in the runs. Show you what I'm talking about. This is the 0Z run, which was run last evening. Here is what we're talking about. Very light, very not significant QPF, maybe just a little bit. It agrees with the actually agrees with the 3Z Seraph somewhat, okay, except as you get north, instead of the relatively slow increase in QPF amounts, it really increases them quickly, and I believe overdoing the QPF with those dark and light blue shadings are at the half inch to 3/4 of an inch, which I think is overdone. And then we have the 6Z, and the 6Z is just like from a whole nother planet, if you know what I'm saying. Like model wise, this is the holy grail of inconsistency. So this is the 6Z, this is the 0Z. Now let's look at the 6Z for a second here. Little if any, maybe a coating to an inch for almost all of New England. You'll have to head way up there from the Canadian border through Maine and then into the lake effect bands to get anything plowable, which I think is totally wrong. So obviously totally different worlds. 6Z NAM had about 1/10 of an inch for around Bar Harbor. Whoa, no, 1/100 of an inch of QPF around Bar Harbor. That's what the 6Z has, except the 0Z had about 7/500 of an inch. So there's a lot of models that can't figure this out, and I think the NAM is one of them. I think the Seraph is more consistent in its runs. Here is the current radar. Already seeing the first bands of snow coming off the Great Lakes, being renegade. Okay, and these will continue to travel through the Northeast and cause impacts. Stay tuned for more details on this event, and have a great day.